Hi, I'm Siggy and I'm from Los Angeles. And my Jewish question is, if I have a student who already is a self-proclaimed atheist, how do I make them explore other options and feeling open-minded without making them feel like I'm forcing a belief system about God onto them?
Okay, Siggy, this is a very interesting question. And it's something that we face often, whether you're dealing with maybe a friend or a professor or someone that you know, and they claim to be an atheist. So I'd like to share with you an interesting parallel. I remember seeing a picture from the 1850s of a medical school. The surgeon was there operating on the patient, and the entire medical school, a few hundred students, were there surrounding him during the operation. The unusual part was not just that they were crowded around him, but none of them were wearing masks or gowns, wearing street clothes, breathing directly into the open wounds of the patient. Now, the reason for that was because until Louis Pasteur came along in the 1860s or so, germ theory wasn't known. And most of the casualties during the Civil War actually were due to death of infection and not to mortal wounds on the battlefield. Now imagine for a minute the following. Imagine that you got to go up to that surgeon and you said to him, "Sir, with all due respect, I just want to let you know, when you're breathing on the patient, you're infecting him. You might kill him." The surgeon looks and says, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Sir, don't you realize they're microorganisms? When you breathe, there are germs, there are microbes, viruses. You're going to be killing your patient." And the surgeon says, "What are you talking about? What are these germ things?" "Well, so they're very, very small. We don't see them. But every time you breathe, you're literally emitting millions of them. And they get into the body and they start multiplying. And that's how many, many patients die." Now, if that surgeon were to look at you and say, "Fool, you're out of your mind. That can't exist. I've been a surgeon my entire life. Not once have I seen any of these microorganisms. Not once have I seen these germs. What you're saying is absurd and cannot be," you'd understand that you're dealing with a man who's ignorant, but more significantly closed-minded. Now, it's okay if back then you didn't know this because medical science wasn't aware of it. But being closed-minded to something is very, very difficult to allow you to be open to new knowledge and things that man isn't aware of. In a very similar way, I say to a person who's an avowed atheist, an atheist means that you've studied religion, you've studied God, and after much, much thought and much, much time, you've reached the conclusion that God cannot exist. The question I would ask any of our atheists is, how much time did you actually spend studying the text? How much time did you spend studying Judaism? How much time have you spent learning the religion? Now, if you spent hours and hours and really got a very good understanding of what the religion is, got a good understanding of Judaism's perception of God, and then reached the conclusion, we could debate whether you're correct or not. But if you've closed your mind off without studying it, without knowing it, then with all due respect, you're not an atheist, you're ignorant. And being closed-minded will never allow you to understand anything. For a person to understand the answers to much of life's questions, the first ingredient is an open mind. If a person has an open mind, let me learn, let me understand, let me hear, then there are many, many proofs, many, many positions that will explain it, and a person can reach a very deep understanding. But if a person's attitude is, "I know the facts, my mind is made up already, don't confuse me with the details and the facts because I know the truth," if that's a person's position, there's nothing you can do. All you can do is ask them if they've really spent enough time studying it and if they truly understand what it is that they're rejecting.